Hello everyone, I'm Kenshin. Welcome to History Talk. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends. Also, don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Thank you. Today's historical discussion is about the dodo bird, which became extinct due to human activity. After the emergence of humans, many species faced extinction. For example, according to CNN, sailors brought foreign species like rats to Mauritius Island. The dodo bird, with its unique appearance, inability to fly, and lack of fear towards humans, became extinct in the latter half of the 17th century after just a few decades. Beth Shapiro, a professor of ecology and evolutionary biology at the University of California, Santa Cruz, leads a team aiming to resurrect the dodo bird. They employ advanced techniques, including ancient DNA sequencing, genetic editing, and synthetic biology, hoping to pioneer new conservation techniques for birds. The professor stated, "We are clearly in the midst of an extinction crisis. We have a responsibility to present compelling stories that excite people and inspire them to think about the current extinction crisis." So today, let's learn about the dodo bird, a species absent from history textbooks. According to records, the earliest historical mention of the dodo bird can be traced back to the diary of Dutch Vice-Admiral Wybrand van Warwijk. He was no ordinary figure. Besides being the first Dutchman to visit the Mauritius Island group, he led an expedition in 1602 with 14 ships to occupy the Penghu Islands. After unsuccessful trade negotiations with Ming China, they withdrew, bringing back much information related to Chinese commercial politics. During the Second Dutch expedition to Indonesia in 1598, they encountered a storm and had to anchor in Mauritius. It is speculated that this voyage might have included the first mention of the dodo bird. However, within less than a century, this species disappeared from the earth forever. Overhunting is commonly believed to be the cause, but the introduction of mammals, particularly monkeys, deer, pigs, and rats, is also significant. So, what did this species look like? The dodo bird was a large, flightless pigeon. It is estimated that their ancestors arrived on the island after volcanic eruptions formed it, providing a haven with abundant food and no natural predators. Over time, they evolved to be larger and heavier, with smaller wings and thicker tails, ultimately losing their ability to fly. However, due to the scarcity of ecological records in the 17th century and the lack of complete specimens, determining their exact appearance is challenging. Most descriptions rely on illustrations and written records from 1598 to 1662. Records suggest that their feathers were gray or brown, and archaeological evidence indicates that dodos were very large birds, reaching up to a meter in height. The skull of the dodo bird differs significantly from other pigeons, especially in being sturdier, with a hooked beak, and a shorter skull compared to the lower jaw. The upper beak is almost twice as long as the cranium, which is shorter than its closest pigeon relatives. Descriptions of the dodo bird from that time can be found in the navigational logs and journals of Dutch East India Company ships docking in Mauritius during the Dutch rule of the island. These records have traditionally been used as guides for future voyages. However, scholars point out that the descriptions are often unreliable, as many seem to be based on earlier accounts and are not left by scientists. One of the earliest descriptions, such as that of Wybrand van Warwijk, includes, "There are many blue parrots, as well as other birds. Among them, one is very large, larger than our swans. Its huge head is only half covered by skin, like wearing a hood. These birds have no wings but instead have 3 or 4 black feathers. The tail is made up of several soft, curved feathers, gray in color. We used to call them tasteless birds, because the longer and more frequent they were cooked, the less tender and flavorful they became. Nevertheless, their belly and breast meat were delicious and easy to chew. This is because the dodo birds were unafraid of humans and had never encountered any animals that could harm them. They had no idea what was happening until sailors approached them, captured, and killed them. Moreover, they were easily caught and used as a readily available food source. Portuguese sailors later named this bird, dodo, which means fool in their language. According to the accounts of Voyager accounts, even sailors who were eager for fresh food found the dodo meat to be coarse, tough, oily, and greasy, making it entirely unappetizing. Since the taste was so unpleasant, why did they go extinct within 70 years? It turns out the Dutch spread the word about Mauritius Island. They mentioned that there were large, slow, flightless birds that were easy to catch. Although the meat was undesirable, the internal organs tasted great. If one couldn't stomach it, there were other birds and fruits available. Consequently, Mauritius became a popular stop on the Indian Ocean trade route. When humans introduced other animals to the island, including cats, dogs, pigs, sheep, rats, and even some monkeys, it meant not only human predators but also various animal threats. Rats, pigs, and monkeys would eat any dodo eggs they could find on the ground, making no nest safe. Overhunting and animal disturbance caused a rapid decline in dodo numbers, exacerbated by the fact that dodos only laid one egg at a time, making it impossible for them to reproduce quickly. The last credible sighting was in 1662, 64 years after Europeans discovered the dodo. Although not yet extinct, the population was scarce and faced imminent extinction in the following years. By the late 17th century, sailors docking on Mauritius Island were already encountering a type of large flightless bird unheard of before. They were unaware that such animals had once existed but were now extinct. The concept of species extinction was relatively new at the time and not widely accepted. Instead, stories about the dodo were dismissed as foolish bird tales. Some claimed the dodo was foolish, but this is not entirely accurate. With no natural predators for generations, they lacked a sense of caution. It could be argued that curiosity, rather than foolishness, was a contributing factor to the demise of the dodo. As scientists estimate, over 99% of all species that ever existed on Earth are now extinct. For thousands of years, the dodo remained a survivor, maintaining its population despite extreme environmental challenges. Then, in the blink of an eye, it perished due to changes in its external environment. Can humans avoid the same fate? Chankson thinks this is impossible. In modern times, Professor Shapiro has announced a crucial first step in reviving the dodo. She has extracted genetic material from dodo remains in Denmark, completing the sequencing of ancient dodo DNA. The next step involves comparing genetic information with relatives of the dodo within the Columbidae family, such as the extant Nicobar pigeon and the extinct Rodriguez solitaire. This process will help scientists identify the genomic mutations necessary to make a dodo a dodo. A more significant challenge lies in incorporating living dodo relatives' cells into the extinct dodo DNA, either to resurrect the dodo or create a facsimile closely resembling the original. This project also includes endeavors to revive the woolly mammoth, thylacine, or Tasmanian tiger, perhaps one day becoming a reality. Coincidentally, a recent report from a reputable American institution revealed that 40% of animals and 34% of plants in the United States are on the brink of extinction. The extinction of any species will have irreversible consequences on the ecosystem. This situation is not isolated to the US but reflects a global crisis. Humans cannot escape the realities of nature, and the time of human survival crisis is now.